Numerology meaning of number 1 is considered to be primordial unity, the beginning, the creator, creation. 1 is the first cause, or as some cultures refer, the first mover, the sum of all possibilities, essence, the center. 1 is referred to isolation. 1 springs forth, upsurges. 1 is seen as the number that gives cause to duality, as multiplicity, and back to final unity. It is the number of creation, represents the masculine, focused on an originator and self-starter, progressive, strong-willed, courageous, self-reliant, rebellious in a constructive way. Cultural reference of number 1 list. Chinese refer to 1 as yang, masculine, celestial. It is seen as an auspicious number. 1 is the monad. Hebrew, Adonai, the Lord, the Most High, the I Am, hidden intelligence. Islamic, 1 refers to 1 as God, as unity, the absolute, self-sufficient. Pythagorean, 1 as meaning, spirit, God, from which all things come. It is the very essence, the monad. Taoism, Tao begets 1, 1 begets 2, 2 begets 3, and 3 begets all things. Numerology meaning of number 2. 2 represents duality, alteration, diversity, conflict, dependence. 2 is a static condition. It is rooted, seen as balance, 2 sides, stability, reflection. 2 are the opposite poles, represents the dual nature of the human being. 2 is desire, since all that is manifest in duality is in pairs of opposites. 1 represents a point, 2 represents a length. The binary is the first number to recede from unity. 2 symbolizes sin, which deviates from the first good and denotes the transitory and corruptible. 2 represents twofold strength, that is symbolized by 2 of anything, usually in history by animals in pairs. It is the most feminine number and means resilient, lasting, sensual, graceful, loyal, tactful, diplomatic, sensitive, cooperative. Cultural reference of number 2 list. Alchemy. 2 are the opposites, sun and moon, king and queen, sulfur and quicksilver, at first agnostic, finally resolved and united in the androgen. Buddhist. See 2 as the duality of samsara, male and female. 2 is theory and practice, wisdom and method. It is blind and the lame, united to see the way and to walk it. Chinese. 2 is yin, feminine, terrestrial, inauspicious. Christian. Christ with 2 natures as God and human. Hebrew. 2 is the life force. In Kabbalism, wisdom and self-consciousness. Hindu. 2 is duality, the Shakta, Shakti. Islamic. 2 spirit. Platonic. Plato says 2 is a digit without meaning, as it implies relationship, which introduces the third factor. Pythagorean. 2 is the duad, the divided terrestrial being. Taoist says 2 is representative of the Kwa, the 2. Determinants, the yin-yang. 2 is a weak yin number, as it has no center. Numerology meaning of number 3. Pagan Trinity. The third dimension. We do things in threes, so they will manifest in our physical realm. Its roots stem from the meaning of multiplicity. Creative power. Growth. 3 is a moving forward of energy. Overcoming duality. Expression. Manifestation. Synthesis. 3 is the first number to which meaning all was given. It is the triad, being the number of the whole as it contains the beginning, middle, end. The power of 3 is universal, and the tripartite nature of the world as heaven, earth, waters. It is human as body, soul, spirit. Notice the distinction that soul and spirit are not the same. They are not. 3 is birth, life, death. 3 is a complete cycle unto itself. It is past, present, future. The symbol of 3 is the triangle. 3 interwoven circles or triangles can represent the indissoluble unit of the 3 persons of the Trinity. Other symbols using 3 are trident, fleur-de-lis, trefoil, trisula, thunderbolt, trigrams. The astral or emotional body stays connected to the physical body for 3 days after death. There is scientific evidence that the brain, even when all other systems are failing, takes 3 days to register complete shutdown. There are 3 phases to the moon. Lunar animals are often depicted as 3-legged. 3 is the heavy or heavenly number representing soul, as 4 represents body. Together, the 2 equal 7, 3 plus 4 equals 7, and form the sacred hebdomad. The 3 times 4 equals 12, representing the signs of the zodiac and months of the year. Pythagorean 3 means completion. There are 3 wishes. Genies have 3 wishes. 3 leprechauns. 3 princes, princesses. 3 witches. 3 weird sisters, among others. It is a perfect number representing the pagan trinity, the triangle, the pyramid, spiritually, the third eye. Cultural reference of number 3 list. Africa Ashanti, the moon goddess, is 3 people, 2 black and 1 white. Arabian pre-Islamic. The Manant is a 3-fold goddess representing the 3 holy virgins, Al-Tib, Al-Uzza, and Al-Manat. They are depicted as aniconic stelae, stones or pillars, or as pillars surmounted by doves. Buddhist. Tradition, the theme of 3 is represented by the Tri-Ratna, the 3 precious jewels, and the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Sanctity, the auspicious number, the first odd, yang number. The moon toad, or bird, is 3-legged. Celtic. Bridget is 3-fold. There are 3 blessed ladies and innumerable triads, often a 3-fold aspect of the same divinity. Christianity. 3 represents the Trinity, the soul, the union of body and soul in the church. There were 3 gifts of the Magi, Christ as God, King, sacrifice. 3 figures of transformation, temptations, denials by Peter, one of the 12 apostles. 12 equals 3, 1 plus 2 equals 3. There were 3 crosses at Calvary. He died on the hills. There were 3 days to the death process for Christ, and there were 3 appearances after his death. There were 3 Marys, and there are 3 qualities or theological virtues, being faith, hope, love, or more commonly known as charity. The number 3 gives to the meaning the embracing Godhead, Father, Mother, Son, / daughter. Egyptian. Hermetic tradition, Thoth, is the thrice great Trismegistus, the supreme power. Alchemy, power of three, the Egyptian god Thoth, or the Greek Hermes Trismegistus, thrice blessed or thrice great, are the progenitors of the Emerald Tablets, describing the mysteries of alchemy. The alchemy of three is demonstrated by its power of multiplicity. For example, in understanding the numbers 1 gave rise to 2, 1 plus 1 equals 2, and 2 gave rise to 3, 2 plus 1 equals 3, and 3 gave rise to all numbers, 3 plus 1 equals 4, 3 plus 2 equals 5, 3 plus 3 equals 6, 3 plus 4 equals 7, 3 plus 5 equals 8, 3 plus 6 equals 9. Thus, in addition to being a number of good fortune, 3 is also the number of multiplicity and alchemy, among other things. Greco-Roman. Fate, the Moirai, who are 3 in 1, as Moirai, Hecate is 3-fold. The Erinyes are 3 in 1, as Erinyes are the Gorgons as Medusa. There are 3 charities, graces. There are 3 sirens, Hore, Hesperides, Graeae. Cerberus is a triple-headed, and Scylla has a 3-bitch tail. The Chimera has a 3-part body. 3, 4, and their sum 7 are sacred to Aphrodite / Venus as queen of the 3 worlds and 4 elements. Orphic symbols as the triad of being, life, intelligence. Hebrew. 3 is symbolized by limitless light, sanctifying intelligence. In the Kabbalah, 3 represents understanding and the trinity of male, female, and uniting intelligence. Hindu. The Trimurti, the triple power of creation, destruction, preservation, of unfolding, maintaining, and concluding, there are various trinities of gods. The moon chariot has 3 wheels. Japanese. The 3 treasures are mirror, sword, and jewel, that being truth, courage, and compassion. Mori. The Great Spirit, the Divine Creator, is a trinity of sun, moon, earth, the God of nature, of past, present, and future. It is mind, character, physique symbolized by 3 raised fingers. Mexican. The Trinity is represented by 3 crosses, 1 large, 2 smaller. Scandinavia. Fate as the 3 Norns, Mani, Ni, and Nethi, who denote the full, new, and waning moon. Teutonic mythology. The moon is fate, and Holda, the lunar goddess, is trine with her 2 daughters. Thor is sometimes depicted with 3 heads, and the Triskel is a symbol of Odin / Woden. 3 is the number of good fortune. In Carthage, the great goddess as lunar is represented by 3 aniconic pillars. Slavic. The moon god is triple-headed. Taoist. The great triad is heaven man, human earth. 3 is the strong number in Taoist symbolism because it is the center point of equilibrium. Numerology meaning of number 4. 4 is the 4th dimension, time, which is illusion. 4 is seen as the first solid number. Square, fate. Spatial in scheme, order in manifestation. Static as opposed to the circular and the dynamic. Wholeness, totality, completion, solid earth. Order rationale, relativity. Justice symbol of measurement, foundation. There are 4 cardinal points, 4 seasons, 4 winds, 4 directions. North, south, east, west. 4 elements in the Western culture. Fire, water, earth, air, earth. 4 sides to a square. 4 arms to a cross. 4 rivers to paradise that formed a cross. The Garden of Eden was said to be within the 4 rivers. Within paradise were 4 infernal. Regions, seas, sacred mountains. 4 watches of the night and day. Quarters of the moon. 4 quarters to the earth. 4 tetramorphs. The divine quaternity is in direct contrast to the Trinity. 4 is a symbolic number used throughout in the Old Testament. The quaternary can be depicted as the quatrefoil as well as the square and the cross. 4 means fate, neutral. Extrovert. An extrovert is a person who is energized by being around other people. Practicality, origination, exactitude, service, patience, devotion, application, pragmatism, patriotism, dignity, trust, worthiness, endurance, loyalty, mastery, building solid foundations, conservatism, determination, production, hard work. Cultural reference of number 4 list. Native American. As in other cultures, ceremonies and ritual acts are repeated in 4s. The Native American cultures have used the number 4 most frequently as in the 4 cardinal directions. 4 winds are depicted by the symbol of the cross and by the symbol of the swastika. The swastika, as some misbelieve, was not created by Hitler. It was instead borrowed from the Native American and occult beliefs of which Hitler had great interests. Hitler derived his insanity of power from his misdirected interpretation and use of metaphysical principles. He used knowledge that his human consciousness couldn't possibly understand, and the use of this knowledge for personal gain is part of the imbalance that creates the chaos and karma. Buddhism. The Dhamma tree of life has 4 limbs and from its roots 4 sacred streams of paradise that represent the 4 boundless wishes of compassion, affection, love, impartiality. It also represents the 4 directions of the heart as well. Chinese Buddhism. There are 4 celestial guardians of cardinal points. Are Moli Ching, the east, with the jade ring and spear, Virapaksha, the west, the far gazer with the 4-stringed guitar, Viraduka, the south, with the umbrella of chaos and darkness and earthquakes, Vaisravena, the north, with the whips, leopard skin bag, snake, and pearl. Chinese. 4 is the number of the earth, symbolized by the square. There are 4 streams of immortality. 4 is an even number. It is yin in polarity. Christian. 4 is the number representing the body, with 3 representing the soul. Again, we see the theme of the 4 rivers in paradise. There are 4 gospels, evangelists, chief archangels, chief devils, 4 fathers of the church, great prophets. There are 4 cardinal virtues: prudence, fortitude, justice, temperance. There are 4 winds from which the one spirit is said to come. There are 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Revelation. There are 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding back the 4 winds of the earth. Revelation 7:1. The great multitude from every nation, tribe, people, and language, 4-fold description. Revelation 5:9, 11:9, 13:7, 14:6. The 4-fold description indicates that these people come from all over the earth. Egyptian. 4 is the sacred number of time, measurement of the sun. 4 pillars support the vault of heaven. There are 4 canopic jars placed around the bed at the 4 corners, guarded by the 4 sons of Horus, who are associated with the cardinal points. In the Hermetic, it is the divine quaternity. It represents God. Gnostic. Belief in Barbelo, the 4-ness of God. Greek. 4 is the sacred number of Hermes. Hebrew. 4 represents measuring beneficence, intelligence. In the Kabbalah, 4 is memory. 4 represents the 4 worlds of the Kabbalah. It also represents the 4 directions of space and the 4 levels of the hierarchical organism of the Torah. Hindu, 4 is totality, plenitude, perfection. Brahma, the creator, is 4-faced. The temple is based on the 4 sides of the square, symbolizing order and finality. There are 4 tattvas, the 4 bodies of human and kingdoms of nature, which are animal, vegetable, mineral, mind. There are 4 yugas. 4 is the winning throw of the dice. There are 4 castes and pairs of opposites. Islamic tradition, the 4 terms of the quaternary are the principle, which is creator, universal spirit, universal soul, the primordial matter. These correspond to the 4 worlds of Kabbalism. There are 4 angelic beings and 4 houses of death. There are 4 levels to the bardo. Mayan, 4 giants support the celestial roof. 4 is seen as the number of support. Pythagorean, 4 is perfection, harmonious, proportion, justice, the earth. 4 is the number of the Pythagorean oath. 4 and 10 are divinities. The triangular, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. Scandinavian, there are 4 rivers of milk flowing in Asgard. Suro-Semitic, 4 astral gods are identified with the 4 cardinal points. Teutonic, 4 dwarfs support the world. Taoist, there are 4 celestial guardians, Li with the pagoda, Ma with the sword, Cho, or with 2 swords, Wen with a spiked club. Numerology meaning of number 5. Pentagon, pentagram. 5 is the symbol of human microcosm, the number of the human being. Human forms the pentagon, which arms and legs are outstretched. The pentagon is endless, sharing the symbolism of perfection and power of the circle. 5 is a circular number, as it produces itself in its last digit when raised to its own power. The pentacle, like the circle, symbolizes whole, the quincunx being the number of its center and the meeting point of heaven, earth, and the 4 cardinal points, plus the center point. 5 is also representative of the Godhead, central creator of the 4 fours plus itself equaling 5. 5 is the marriage of the heroes, demos, in combination of feminine and the masculine. Feminine being even as 2 in frequency, masculine being odd as 3 in frequency. The number 5 symbolizes meditation, religion, versatility. 5 senses everywhere except in the east: taste, touch, smell, sight, hearing. In the east there are 6, the extra being mind. We find meanings to 5 in the 5-petaled flower, 5 pointed leaves, especially the rose. The rose has much symbolism, but also the lily, vine, all of which represent the microcosm. 5 is represented geometrically as the pentagram. The 5-pointed star depicts individuality and spiritual aspiration, and education when it points upward. The 5-pointed star pointing downward represents witchcraft, and it is used in black magic. Note, there is a very broad difference between witchcraft and black magic. The number 5 formed the first counting process from which all else came, represents a female energy. There are 5 days in the woman's fertility cycle. Cultural reference of number 5 list. Alchemy. The 5-petaled flower and 5-pointed star symbolizing the quintessence. Buddhist. Belief the heart has 4 directions. The heart center makes 5, symbolizing universality. This idea is also symbolized by the sacred mountains surrounded by 4 islands. There are 5 Dhyana Buddhas. Vairocana the brilliant, who is represented by the will, the witness. Ashkobia, the imperturbable, with Virja, the east, blue. Ratnasambhava, the jewel-born jewel, south, yellow. Amitba, boundless light, lotus, west, red. Amokgazidi, infallible, success, sword, north, green. Chinese, there are 5 elements, atmospheres, conditions, planets. Sacred mountains, grains, colors, tastes, poisons, powerful charms, cardinal virtues, blessings, eternal ideas, relations to humankind. Christian, 5 depicts human beings after the fall in the Garden of Eden. There are 5 senses, 5 points to the cross, wounds of Christ, fishes feeding 5,000, and books of Moses. Egyptian, there are 5 crocodiles of the Nile. Greco-Roman, 5 is the nuptial number of love and union. It is the number of Venus. Venus years are completed in groups of 5. Apollo, as god of light, has 5 qualities: omniscience, omnipresence, omnipotence, eternity, unity. Hebrew, 5 represents strength and severity, radical intelligence. In Kabbalah, 5 represents fear. Hindu, 5 is the quinary groups of the world, the 5 elements of the subtle and coarse states, their primary colors of senses, 5 faces of Siva, and the twice 5 incarnations of Vishnu. Islamic, there are 5 pillars of religion, 5 divine presences, 5 fundamental dogmas, 5 actions, and 5 daily times of prayer. Parsi, 5 is a significant number in Parsi and Mandean rites, possibly connected with 5 sacred intercalary days of light. Pythagorean, Eros, Gamos, the marriage of heaven, earth. It represents Apollo and his 5 qualities. Numerology meaning of number 6. Hexagram, Seal of Solomon, Star of David. 6 represents equilibrium, harmony, balance. 6 is the perfect number within the Dakad. 1 + 2 + 3 = 6. It is the most productive of all numbers. It symbolizes union of polarity, the hermaphrodite being represented by the 2 interlaced triangles, the upward pointing as male, fire and the heavens, the downward pointing as female, the waters and the earth. It is a winning number at the throw of the dice in the west. There are 6 rays of the solar wheel, 6 interlaced triangles, 6 pointed stars on, geometrically as the hexagram, Seal of Solomon, Thelema, Church of Satan, Do What Thou Wilt, Star of David, Merkabah. 6 is the symbol of luck, love, health, beauty, chance. 6 represents the male energy, the soul of man, and the macrocosm of God. Cultural reference of number 6 list. Chinese, 6 represents universe, with its 4 cardinal points and the above and below, making it total of 6 directions. Chinese culture, there are 6 senses: taste, touch, smell, sight, hearing, mind. The day and night each have 6 periods. Christian, 6 is perfection, completion, because man was created on the 6th day. 6 is man's number. The most obvious use of this number is in the notorious passage containing 666. Revelation 13:18 NIV. This calls for wisdom. If anyone has insight, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is man's number. His number is 666. Hebrew, there are 6 days of creation. It symbolizes meditation and intelligence. Kabbalism, 6 is creation and beauty. Pythagorean, luck. Sumerian, 6 days of creation. Numerology meaning of number 7. Heptagon, heptagram, perfected man, transhumanism. If 6 represents humanity, then 7, center of the spiral, is humanity's connection to its source, God, Christ consciousness, or whatever name you prefer. 7 is the number of the universe. 7 is the 3 of the heavens, soul, combined with the 4 body of the earth, being the first number containing both, the spiritual, the temporal. In looking over the list of meanings, it doesn't take long to figure out why the 7 has become significant in metaphysical, religious, and other spiritual doctrines. 7 represents the virginity of the Great Mother, feminine archetype, she who creates. There are 7 ages of man, 7 ancient wonders of the world, 7 circles of the universe, 7 cosmic stages, 7 days of the week, 7 heavens, 7 hells, 7 pillars of wisdom, 7 rays of the sun, 7 musical notes. Sound as frequency plays a key role in matters of the universe. There are over 80 octaves of frequency, each governing a specific manifestation in universe. 7 is a mystic number, traditionally associated with Venus and more recently with Neptune. 7 is the number of feelings and of instincts, of the group mind, of love, whether that strange, indescribable but pervasive feeling of love is towards another person, a pet, oneself, or one's God. Love embodies tremendous sexual energy, the emotions of which may be directed in various ways. 7 is a sacred number and the number of perfected man. 7 is inverted reflection of El, Lamad. The Hebrew letter Lamad represents the Hebrew God El, God, Yahweh, El. Cultural reference of number 7 list. Alchemy. There are 7 metals involved with the work. Astrology. There are 7 stars of the Great Bear, which are indestructible. There are 7 Pleiades, sometimes referred to as the 7 Sisters. Buddhist. 7 is the number of ascent and the ascending to the highest, attaining the center. The 7 steps of Buddha symbolize the ascent of the 7 cosmic stages, transcending time and space. The 7-storied Prasada at Borobudur is a sacred mountain and axis mundi culminating in the transcendent north, reaching the realm of Buddha. Chinese. The meaning and symbolism are intertwined throughout in their myths and legends of fairies and animal spirits. Christian. 7 is ideology. God is represented by the 7th ray in the center of the 6 rays of creation. There are 7 sacraments, gifts of spirit, the 7 of 3 plus 4, theological and cardinal virtues, deadly sins, tiers of purgatory. In metaphysical belief, this would be one of the lower astral planes, or in Buddhism, one of the Bardo planes. There are 7 councils of the early church, crystal spheres containing the planets, devils cast out by Christ, joys and sorrows of Mary, the Blessed Virgin, Mother of Jesus, liberal arts, major prophets, periods of fasting and penitence, 7th day after the 6th of creation. Old Testament. There are 7 altars of Balaam, oxen and ram for sacrifice. Trumpets, circuits of Jericho, 7 times Naaman bathed in the Jordan. 7 is the number of Salmon's bonds. The child raised by Elisha sneezed 7 times. The ark rested on the 7th month, and the dove was sent out after 7 days. Revelation. The number 7 is used 55 times in Revelation. It usually means fullness or completeness, as in 7 days of the week. God rested on the 7th day. Examples abound: 7 churches, 7 trumpets, and 7 seals, 7 bowls, 7 eyes, etc. Egyptian mythology. There are 7 fates, and the priestesses of Hathor have 7 jars in their 7 tunics. Ra has 7 hawks representing the 7 wise ones. 6 cows and bull represent fertility. There are 7 houses of the underworld as depicted in Egyptian myths with 3 times 7 gates. 7 is the sacred number of Osiris. Greco-Roman. Sacred to Apollo, whose lyre has 7 strings, and to Athene / Minerva and Ares / Mars, Pan had 7 pipes. Again, a reference to 7 musical notes and frequency. They're 7 wise men of Greece. Hebrew. 7 is the number of occult intelligence. There are 7 great holy days in the Jewish year. The menorah has 7 branches. The temple took 7 years to build, and there are 7 pillars of wisdom. Hinduism. There are 7 jewels of the Brahmanas and 7 gods before the floods, and 7 wise men saved from it. Islamic. The perfect number is 7. The Islamic tradition, there are references to 7. Heavens, climates, earths, seas, colors, prophets, active powers, states, stations of the heart. The Kaaba is circumambulated 7 times, representing the 7 attributes of God. Magic. There are 7 knots in a cord for spellbinding, and incantations are 7-fold. Certain orders of brotherhood use theme of tying 7 knots in their rope sash worn around their waist. Mithraic. The cave of Mithras has 7 doors, 7 altars, and a ladder with 7 rungs, depicting the 7 grades of initiation into the mystery schools. Pythagorean. 7 is a cosmic number with 3 of heaven and 4 of the world. Sumero-Semitic. There are 7 lunar divisions and days of the week. Thou shalt shine with horns to determine 6 days, and on the 7th with half a crown. The 7th thus becomes opposition to the sun and symbolizes darkness and balefulness, and therefore is dangerous to undertake anything on the 7th day because that is the day of rest. We can see here the influence of this belief in other religious contexts. There are 7 zones of earth, heavens, symbolized by the plains of Ziggurat. Tree of Life. There are 7 branches to the Tree of Life, each having 7 leaves. Leaves are symbols of fertility, renewal, and growth. There are 7 gates of hell, 7 demons of Tiamat, 7 winds to destroy her. Interesting to note that in many belief systems it is said that the astral plane has 7 levels to it. One sound on one of those levels is wind. In all cultures, myths, and legends, 7 represents completeness and totality, macrocosm, perfection, plenty, reintegration, rest, security, safety, synthesis. The writings about the 7-headed dragon appear throughout India, Persia, the Far East, especially Cambodia, but also Celtic and other Mediterranean myths. The 7th ray of the sun is the path by which the human beings pass from this world to the next. 7 days is the period for fasting and penitence, the 7th power of any number, both square and a cube, and thus was given great importance. Numerology meaning of number 8. Satan, octagon, Saturn, cruel, sensitive. Spiritually, 8 is the goal of the initiate, having gone through the 7 stages. 8 is infinity, paradise regained. 8 is solidarity as the first cube, and it denotes perfection by virtue of its 6 surfaces. There are 8 winds and intermediate directions of space. 8 represents the pairs of opposites. The octagon is the beginning of the transformation of the square into a circle, and vice versa. 8 represents Saturn, Satan, cruel, insensitive, violent, bullish, greedy. Cultural reference of number 8 list. Buddhist. 8 is completion, all possibilities. There are 8 symbols of good augury. Chinese, system of belief, 8 represents the whole. It is all possibilities in manifestation. 8 is seen as a good luck number. The Puqua has the design depicted the 8 trigrams and pairs of opposites, usually in a circle, the circumference of which symbolizes time and space. There are 8 delights of human existence. Christian, 8 is regeneration and rebirth. The font is usually octagonal, as symbolizing the place of regeneration. There are 8 beatitudes. Egyptian, 8 is the number of Thoth. Hebrew, 8 is perfect intelligence, splendor. The digit value of IHVH is the number of the Lord. The temple was sanctified in 8 days. Hermetic, in their system there is one chief god. 8 minor gods. Thoth / Hermes was the inventor of numbers and geometry. Hindu, 8 times 8 symbolism is the order of the celestial world established on earth. Temples are built on the pattern of the mandala, which is the 8 times 8 symbol. In their belief system, there are 8 regions of the world, suns, divisions of the day, and 8 chakras. Islamic, the throne which encompasses the world is supported by 8 angles, corresponding to both the 8 divisions of space and the groups of letters in the Arabic alphabet. Japanese, 8 is the many. There are 8 gods in the heavens. Platonic, Plato has 8 spheres of different colors surrounding the luminous pillars of the heavens. Pythagorean, 8 is solidarity and stability. Sumer-Semitic, 8 is the magic number of Nibu, or Taoist. 8 to be all possibilities in manifestation, with the Aqua representing the forces in the phenomenal world. There are 8 Taoist genii, or immortals. 8 in many cultures and ideologies seem to have similar meanings. Felicity, perfect rhythm, regeneration, resurrection. In some myths, the 8th day created the new man of grace. After 7 days of fasting and penance, the 8th day becomes plenty and renewal. 7 + 1 is the number of the octave, which is a continual theme in all esoteric belief systems. The knowledge of frequency and sound are a vital key in the ancient mystery schools. Numerology meaning of number 9. Black box. Cube. 9 is composed of the all-powerful 3 times 3. It is the triple triad: completion, fulfillment, attainment, beginning and the end, the whole number, a celestial and angelic number, the earthly paradise. 9 is the number of the circumference, its division into 90 degrees and into 360 for the entire circumference. 9 is symbolized by the 2 triangles, which are a symbol of male, fire, mountain, female, water, cave. 9 is a sacred number and means black box, cube. Cultural reference of number 9 list. Buddhist. Tradition holds 9 to be the supreme spiritual power and a celestial number. Celtic. Legend symbolizes 9 as a highly significant number. It is a central number within the 8 directions, with the center making 9. The triple goddesses are thrice 3. There are 9 Celtic maidens and 9 white stones that symbolize the 9 virgins pendant on Bridget. 9 is connected with the Beltane fire rite, which are attended by 81. 8 + 1 = 9. Men, 9 at a time. Chinese. 9 is a celestial power. It is 3 times 3, being the most auspicious of all the numbers. 9 also signifies the 8 directions, with the center as the 9th point, known as the Hall of Light. There are 9 great social laws and classes of officials. In land divisions, for feng shui, there are 8 exterior squares for cultivation of the land by holders, and the central and 9th square is a god acre, dedicating to Shang-Ti, the supreme ruler. It is also known that the emperor's field, giving homage and respect, denoting the position of heavenly power. Christian. 9 is one of the numbers that appears scantly in Christian symbolism. There are the triple triads of choirs of angels and 9 spheres and 9 rings around hell. Egyptian mythology. 9 represents the Ennead. Hebrew. 9 is pure intelligence. 8 was perfect intelligence. Also represents truth, since it reproduces itself when multiplied. Kabbalism. 9 symbolizes foundation. Hindu. 9 is the number of Agni, fire. The square of the 9 forms the mandala of 81 squares and leads to and encloses the universe. Mayan. There were 9 underworlds, each ruled by a god. We find this reference to 9 underworlds present in many cultures and beliefs. Pythagorean. The 9 is the limit of all numbers, all others existing and coming from the same, i.e. 0 to 9 is all one needs to make up an infinite amount of numbers. Scandinavian. Woden hung for 9 days and nights on the Yggdrasil to win the secrets of wisdom for humankind. Skelde, the northern Persephone, the goddess of snow, lives in her mountain for 3 months and by Njord's sea for 9 months. 9 is the sacred number in Scandinavian Teutonic symbolism.